Hello and welcome to Mama's Relaxation. I'm Nico and I want to tell you that I manifested something the other day and I'm so excited about it. And when you're manifesting something, you don't always know how it's going to work out. In fact, you really never know how it's going to work out. You can think you do, but you really don't. And that's part of the fun about it. And that's actually, I think, the most exciting and fun thing about manifesting and living in the universe is that we really don't know what's going to happen, and life is full of surprises. So, one thing that I have really missed since the pandemic started is our library group. Music and movement, taking the kids to the library, and really sitting on the floor and talking to the other moms. I started going to this group thinking my kids needed to socialize, and it turns out it was me who needed to socialize because being a stay-at-home mom can be really isolating. So that's been something that's been really hard for me not to have happening anymore. And I really missed one of my friends, Lainey, and I have texted her here and there, but we don't keep in contact often, and I'm not great at keeping in contact with very many people. And like I said in a previous video, this spring I was going through a breakdown/breakthrough. So really, I wasn't keeping in contact with very many people at all. So when our library started doing their library group again, I've been really excited, but I haven't seen Lainey there because she's moved to a few towns over and it's not as easy for her to get there. So the other day I was on my way to music and movement with the kids, and then my son says to me, "Hey, you should buy whoever's coffee is behind us." Because every once in a while I do that, and that's a great way of giving, and it's a great way of opening your heart chakra. And if it's ever happened to you, you know that it's like the greatest thing. Like, somebody just bought me my coffee. This is so exciting. So I look behind me to see who it is because I always like peek first. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's Lainey. I think that's her. I'm having a hard time telling, so I text her. I see her on her phone, and I text her. I'm like, hey, are you in the line to get a coffee? And she starts looking around. So then I just start screaming out the window. So here is me, here is her, and here's a truck here. So I'm staring at this man in a truck who could be very accurately described as a hillbilly grandpa, a very kindly hillbilly grandpa. So I'm staring at him, but I'm yelling to her, and I'm like, hey, how are you? I miss you. And he's just staring at me like, it was so funny. So then she starts screaming back to me. She's like, I missed you too. And then she just gets out of her vehicle, just puts it in park and gets out. And she's like, hey, we haven't seen each other in a long time. And then he's just like laughing and smiling and looking at us. And she comes and we're embracing through my vehicle window, and she's hugging me and I'm hugging her. I'm like, I miss you so much. And we're going to music and movement right now. And she's like, oh my gosh, my kids are with my husband at his office. I will bring them down. So she came to music and movement. We went to the playground afterwards. We played, we hung out. It was just so nice to see her. It like really filled my spirit to just hang out and feel normal and see her again. And then we were talking at the playground, and she's like, Nico, oh my gosh, when I met you, you were so shy, and now here you are like a year later screaming at me through the drive-thru. I just can't believe it. And I just laughed so hard. I'm like, Lainey, I have never been shy. I am not shy, and I never have been. I am, however, very observant, and I'm very protective of my energy, I guess. So I just like to scope things out, and I like to scope people out before I decide how much I'm going to interact with them. And she's like, wow, I never realized that. I thought you were shy. I'm like, yeah, a lot of people do, but I'm actually not. So that was just a fun thing I manifested the other day. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope that you get to manifest something great. I really hope you get to see a friend or someone you haven't seen in a long time, and that it just fills your heart, because I am still like 2 weeks later just smiling from ear to ear about how all this worked out. Like my son just saying like, hey, you should buy that person's coffee. He didn't know it was her. So then I'm looking, I'm like, oh my gosh, like I've wanted to see her. I wanted to go to music and movement, and the universe just placed it all in order so this could happen. And I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this makes you happy. Share it with someone if you think it would make them happy too. Subscribe to see what's next, and we'll see you soon. Goodbye.